G'day, Paul Coleman here. I just thought that I would send you guys a little video to give you an update on my album. The album is called Recalculating, and I'm hoping to have it done and released January 2015. Now, there was a whole bunch of you guys that gave to my Indiegogo campaign, crowdfunding campaign that I put up online. I should also say that these are some glasses that I got when I was in Australia. And I'm not embarrassed to say that at 47, I need them a bit more. I was just in Europe recently and I was like, where is the train? Why can't I see the... Oh, hello. So I'm just going to put my glasses on. I don't mind. That happens when you get old. So, yeah, my album, Recalculating, a lot of you gave to that. I'm so thankful for that. This is for you, but it's also for everyone. And I thought what I would do is just let you a little bit into the process of how a song goes from writing to recording. And currently where I'm up to is I'm just demoing the songs. In other words, I'm throwing up a whole lot of instruments, creating an arrangement for the song, creating a tempo, and I'm playing stuff very quickly. I'm not spending a massive amount of time, hours and hours figuring out a guitar part. I kind of think about the first thing that comes into my head and then I refine it for a while. Right now the process is taking the songs from a little voice note that I'm about to play you in a minute to a demo. And then the next process after that is I send it out to friends. Actually, currently, in the song I'm about to show you, my good friend and co-writer Jonas Woods actually just texted me and said, I think I've got a better idea for the bridge. I'm like, great. And he said, send me the track without the vocals, but I need that bit where you go, whoa, or something. So for example, what you may hear may change. But this is the first installment of the process. And I thought it might be fun. And one of the reasons I want to show you this is that I have really learnt the value of co-writing, writing songs with other people. For many years I didn't do that, and I think it was a mistake. Because my number one skill, I guess, is performing the songs, connecting with the audience. My number one skill isn't writing the songs. I can write songs, but I think in a 10-song record, if I wrote them all myself, 1 or 2 might be great, and 8 would be pretty average. So some of the songs that a lot of you know that have become popular ones are actually songs that I wrote with other people. This song that I'd like to share with you is called Get Up and Go. It wasn't called Get Up and Go when you're about to hear the voice notes of us recording it. And in this room, Klaus P. Ambor, who is a friend of mine from Germany, one of my most favorite people in the whole world, a very, very talented writer, singer-songwriter and producer. He came here into my house for a week, and then Jonas Woods, an artist that I got a chance to produce, came here for a week, and our friend Lisa from Australia came here for a week, and she helped us all get together and invested in the process, which was amazing. And we sat in this room, and this is the way this song started. It actually started with another song completely that I haven't even started working on yet. And I played the guys what I had, and then Jonas came up with an idea for the verse. And the idea that he came up with went something like this. That was in another song. We ended up realizing that the other song didn't need that bit, but we really liked the idea. So while Jonas was having a coffee over there with Lisa, and he said, guys, I can't think of the chorus. I've given you the verse. Come up with something. So Klaus and I sat down here, and I said, I don't know. And then for some reason, I just played these chords. The reason I went to those is because I love rhythm, but I also find that sometimes it's great to have a contrast. So the chorus, the verse chords kind of stayed in the same, stays on the D for a while, and that goes to the G, See how it's staying on those chords for quite a while? So I'm usually looking for contrast, and I like rhythm, so let me play you what class came up with. Come over here. So, I've got the MP3s here. I've got the WAV files on a on an email. Let's see which one it is. Class just did that. I mean, I played the chords and he just sat there and did that very thing. Let's hear it one more time. So here's the verse, melody that Jonas mostly made up. And Class just did this. Just came out of his head. And so that ended up being the basis for the chorus. So I knew I had that. And so I had in my mind the melody. I had that in my head. And then I had the melody that Class came up with for the chorus. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, da-da-da-da-da-da. I had the basis of that. So what happened was, back in April, I was doing some shows in Norway. And during the day, because I did 14 shows in a row, I did something that I find very difficult. I was quiet. See? Strange, isn't it? It's so strange for me too. The world experienced a peace that it's been unexplained. I haven't told them. It was actually because I was quiet. And so I sat in the back of the van and I just sat on my iPad and wrote lyrics out because I had the melody in my brain. And I'd had a conversation with a friend about this idea of just going for it. How many times we're held back by fear? How many times we're just held back and we don't realize that, man, we just got to go. And so then I was listening to the phrasing, you got to get up and go. Class said, you got to let it go. But I thought, okay, I had an album called Let It Go. There's a new, like, let it go, let it go. I thought, I can't have Let It Go. It's been done recently a lot. So I thought, you got to get up and go. You got to get up and go. And then the lyrics came to me, light a spark and then watch it glow. You're still the dreamer that you used to know, but you got to get up and go. So one thing I did was I changed a little bit of the melody of the chorus that Class and I came up with. Next bit. What that ended up becoming was this. So you gotta let it go, you gotta get up and go. Light a spark and then watch it glow. You're still dreaming that you used to know. You gotta get up and go. So it sort of was based on what Class did. But the fact is, there's no way I would have been able to come up with what I came up with without Class originating his part. And there's a couple of changes to Jonas's bit, but essentially it's the same. But the great thing is the combination of all three of us throwing something in together is what made this what I consider to be a great song. So then I sat down to work on it. And one of the things that I've been really working on for this album is something that I can play completely on my own, or also something with a band. But when I play it on my own, it doesn't sound so different. And I've been working with a loop station, which means I can create a part, loop it around and around again, and then put another part on top of it, another part on top of it, and then it comes through the performance. So I thought, okay, how can I come up with a song, a way to play this that has a groovy feel? So instead of playing this for the verse, I came up with this. I guess if I hadn't grown up listening to George Michael, well, you gotta have, you know. we're all borrowing from people. A lot of young people these days don't know who George Michael is. But instead of going, okay, so I kind of had that rhythm, and rhythm is kind of my strength because I grew up listening to people like Keith Richards. There's a lot of people that can play the guitar better than Keith Richards, but not everyone can go. You might be able to go, blah, 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 but can you play something that cool? I don't think so. So I like rhythm, and it plays to my strengths. Plus also I figured on a loop station, I could go and loop that over and over again, have this behind it, and it would sound kind of cool. So that's what drove my decisions about how I was going to produce this song and actually record it. Then I thought, okay, I haven't got a bass player live, so I wonder if I could do the bass part that I had with my mouth instead of with the bass. I had a few goes at that. I'd like to play you a couple of fails. Okay, let's see. What's this one? Do, do, do. Oh, that's the real one. Okay, let's try this. Negative. Then there was this one. This is pretty funny. You look down and oh, oh, let's just say that didn't make the mix. But then I sang this little bass part in here. I had two people comment on that. One said it sounded like the start of the Cosby Show. Another person said it sounded like some little animated crabs singing. Cool. So that was the next thing I did, was my mind started to go, okay, there's a million ways that I can produce this song, there's a million ways that I can record this. How can I do it so that it has that sense of a band? So when I play it with a band, the bass player takes over the part. But when I play it on my own, I can sing into my loop station, do, 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 and loop that over, and then go, create the rhythm, and then play that part on top, and all of a sudden, it sort of sounds like the record. So people aren't listening to the record and going, man, it doesn't sound anything like it. So the first thing I started with was the guitar part. Let's see, acoustic part. Here it is. Oh, let's put the right channel on here. Here we go. No, that's the chorus, verse. It's the one I just played. Once again, that's not the greatest guitar sound you'll ever hear, but remember, this is not about making the final record, it's about seeing if it works. Then there was the chorus part, which we just heard before. What I heard in my mind's ear, whatever that is I heard a kick drum, a bass drum, just playing like this. That's called 4 on the Floor. That's like the heartbeat of rock. And I just thought, well, I can do that with my mouth on a loop station. Plus also I can tap the guitar and create that driving pulse. So I thought I can do that myself. But on a record you want something a little bit more than that. The next thing was putting down these vocals of that introduction part. And I did the do 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 do, and it did sound like a bunch of crabs. Do 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 do. Like, I don't know, it was crazy. So I ended up going because it just didn't sound as silly. So I did the low one first. It's not the greatest singing in the world, but it doesn't matter. And then I thought I'd put an octave above it. Put them together. So that's kind of the base of the song. Then there was the vocals that I cut. Oh, what I decided to do with the vocals was sing it an octave up and an octave below, and then put the octave below kind of louder. So the verses down is this one. You try to lift 500 pounds alone without a spotter. You try to walk across the desert, but you got no one to look at you. And then I sang it up high. Now this is not going to sound that great up high. You try to lift 500 pounds alone without a spotter. It's kind of high for me. You try to... But if you put them together and you mix the high one down a little bit, it sounds kind of cool. You try to lift 500 pounds alone without a spotter. Kind of has an interesting effect. So, what you end up with is this kind of song that has the band elements, but it also has something that could sound okay with me live. Gotta have some claps. You try to lift 500 pounds alone without a spotter. You try to walk across the desert, but you got no one to look at you. Here comes the beat. You're out on your own. You got the moves, but you don't think that you could be a dancer. You ask the question, so look at me. Ask me, what do I know? You gotta get up and go. So there you have it. One last thing I'll mention is I was listening to the chorus and I thought it just doesn't really have this part. Now, this doesn't sound very good. So I put it with this synthesizer. Now if you take that out of the chorus, have a listen to how the chorus sounds a bit empty. I think anyway. Gotta get up and go! Light a spark and watch it glow! But have a listen with these parts in. I think it lifts it a little bit and gives your ears something else. Gotta get up and go! Light a spark and watch it glow! You're still... So there you go, there's a little bit about get up and go. Once again, the very important thing about involving other people. It takes a lot of vulnerability to allow someone into your song. It takes a lot of vulnerability to let someone into your life. But after many, many years of trying to do everything on my own, I've learnt that letting people in and sharing and being a team is way better. And that's really what a lot of recalculating is about. Me looking back on my life and seeing, how have I done things? Who have I been? I want to go somewhere else. I want a fresh set of coordinates. So I hope you enjoy it. Please stay tuned for more updates. And even though the campaign's over, you can write a check for 5 or 10 grand any day you like and just mail it to me. Just send me a message, I'll let you know. Glasses off and clear.